And through here, and it had a fence around this old cemetery. You could see everything. All this was open ground, pasture.
Wow. Well, what's your earliest memory of this area?
Oh, I don't know. It's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you were telling me as a kid that you used to live over there and walk down to the school?
Yeah, we walked clear down there to where Thompson Road turns off there at that old school.
I lived over here.
I went
over here for
5 years there, and
Yeah?
then they moved it down to the Fremont district, down McKinley School.
Oh, I do remember hearing about that, yeah.
That's a big school, 2 rooms.
Wow. Do you remember the teacher? Do you remember
My teacher?
Yeah.
My teacher for the first 5 years was Marvel Frack.
Yes, Mrs. Frack.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She was a good teacher. Well, then my brother saw her years later. He played with the old-time fiddlers, and he run into Mrs. Frack. Her husband had died, and she'd remarried, and she was asking Alan all about us kids, you know. She was a good old teacher.
Yeah. Well, now tell me where your grandparents are buried.
Yeah, down here. This is my grandpa. He died in 1923, before I was born. That's my grandpa, Richard Hardy Smith.
Wow.
And I remember Grandma very well. She died in 1936. I was 8 years old.
Can you tell me some stories about her, what she was like?
Well, she was blind. She stayed with my Aunt Lula Purdue, and I used to visit her all the time, and she was blind.
Was it here in Sheridan?
Pardon?
Did she stay here in Sheridan, or was she?
Yeah. Yeah. Her oldest daughter, Lula Purdue, she lived in on the Warner Road, or Beaver Creek Road. And they lived there for years.
Mary Ann Smith, 1853 to 1936.
Yeah.
That's a long
She
time.
was quite old.
Yeah. Well, can you tell me any of your stories about memories about her, what she was like, and?
How my 2 older brothers used to aggravate her. She had a big old cat.
Did she?
That was her pet, you know. And Albert and Gene, my brothers, they used to get that old cat by the feet and hold it upside down out the window, drop it, and watch it turn over before it hit the ground.
Oh.
Old Grandma would have killed him if she could have seen how to catch him.
What was the cat's name?
I don't remember what she called her.
Is she a good cook?
Yeah, I don't remember Grandma cooking.
She was blind by the time
She was staying there with my aunt.
What'd she look like?
Oh, she's been a pretty woman when she was younger. Yeah, I remember one time, I got a cousin my cousin's baby is buried here somewhere, but I don't know where, but it was I think it was 1940, he died. And me and my cousin Dan, we walked from where the Turno lives, where the old house used to be around here. And there used to be an old board fence around the cemetery, and they wouldn't let us go to the funeral, us little guys. But we hid behind that old fence and listened to it all behind that old board fence. He's buried right here somewhere, but I don't know where.
So you remember that?
Yeah, there's no marker or nothing.
Well, they'll find it. Sometime they'll find it. What was his name? Do you remember his name?
Larry Lester was the baby's name.
Oh.
And his Talmadge Smith was my cousin. That was his dad.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for telling me these.